Hi guys, a Merry Christmas to you all. I know, it's a little late. But I just saw a film and I was overcome with this Yuletide spirit and I couldn't stop sharing it with you because my mind went all jingling and all la la la. Oh, by the way, this is a rope and I'll tell you why I have it with me. You might have guessed that I'm going to talk about a movie which was released a few weeks ago. But the film is so beautiful, it is so breathtaking that I thought better late than never, and why not talk about it today? So here we go. And yeah, I was reading an Agatha Christie and I'll tell you why. Some of you may have guessed from my antics that today we are going to talk about Sriram Raghavan's Merry Christmas, albeit belatedly. But that is all you are allowed to guess about this movie. Because as Exy says to Valentine in The Kingsman, this ain't that kind of movie, bro.
This ain't that kind of movie, bruv.
Merry Christmas is not the kind of movie where a boy meets a girl and they walk around till sunrise. Well, actually it is, but in a different sort of way. Or the kind of cinema that expects you to park your brain home and go to the theaters only to munch some popcorn. It expects you to bring it along to the theater and focus. Focus on every word, every nuance and every shot to figure what is going on. Not that you are able to figure out for the first half what exactly is going on, even though the slow action and dialogue keeps you on the edge of your seat with one hand scratching your head all the time. Only when it is over, when you walk out of the theater, you get your eureka moments and say aha so many times that people who may be walking around would think that you are a fool. But you can't help it, because as Celine Dion sang once upon a time, when you come out of the theater, it all keeps coming back to you now. And you tell yourself, that scene meant this. Oh, that dialogue was about that. And then you say, oh wow. Like an Agatha Christie novel, the movie makes you exercise your little grey cells and look at every little thing like Poirot. So you're not just watching, your brain is constantly whirring. Sometimes so loud that the people sitting next to you in the theater may be forced to say, like Sherlock Holmes says to Watson, stop thinking, you're disturbing me.
Stay in your limit.
I can't tell you much about the plot except that it is based on a novella by the French writer Frédéric Dard. The original is in French and pronouncing its title is a little above my linguistic skills. But thankfully, there's an English version and it's called Bird in a Cage. Now, Dard had written around 300 crime thrillers and whodunits in his life. He had also created something similar to James Bond for the French audience, obviously without the booze and the girls and the gadgets, and he's one of their most famous crime writers. But he wasn't that kind of a writer either. His stories weren't just murder on the Orient Express kind of whodunits. They were a deep study of the human psyche captured and analyzed with a rare literary flourish. Sometimes he made you feel so much in love with his characters that you would have thought that murder was such a beautiful thing and it was so justified. Anyway, Merry Christmas can't be explained in one line. Actually, it can be if you have read the review of the book by The Guardian. It says, Albert is back home after 7 years and he can't afford to get into trouble. It's a Christmas night and you don't expect people to get into trouble, but unfortunately, trouble is all Albert gets that particular night, with a mild peck in a jangling escalator as some sort of consolation. The novella was set in Paris, but the movie is set in Mumbai, when it was actually called Bombay, and it sends you on a nostalgia trip. Having watched almost every film made by Sriram Raghavan, I think sometimes he is masquerading as a film director. In real life, in mindset, in his temperament, he's a painter, because his films are like paintings. First he draws the pencil sketch, then he dabs some paint here and there, and even though you're watching him in action all this time, only when he's applied the final stroke, you realize what he has created and what a masterpiece it is. Everything in Merry Christmas has a meaning, though you get it only later. A teddy bear that grows like the nose when you lie, a dosa joke, a cat crawling around. And the best part is that you realize all this only after you have come back home. When you come back, you remember it and smile, as if reminded of a fond memory of a person you know who. Merry Christmas also has those dabs and touches. A Rajesh Khanna here, a weighing machine with a fortune ticket there, and so on and so forth. But the real action unfolds when, surprise, surprise, when the characters just sit in a room and talk. Building a plot with just words and very little action was Alfred Hitchcock's forte. And Raghavan is a self-confessed Hitchcock fan and a disciple. So he has developed this film like Hitchcock's rope, and not just because it unfolds over a period of just one night. It is an ode to rope also because of the way the tension builds with just dialogue. When two characters just relax and have a conversation with a glass of wine in their hands. Like all Raghavan films, the climax is also an enigma packed in a riddle. Some of us are still trying to figure out what exactly happened in the end in Andhadhun. With Merry Christmas, Raghavan has given his fans, people like us, some more homework till his next one is released. He expects you to think while you are in the theatre, and he expects you to think when you come back home. Not fair, Raghavan. I can only tell you that the film ends with barely a word spoken, and the kind of crescendo that reminds you of Hitchcock's Vertigo. Many years from now, when the history of Indian cinema is written, Raghavan will be mentioned as someone who treated his viewers as intelligent humans. As a director, he respects his audience and their intelligence. And for that, just for that, he deserves our respect and Andhadhun, Andha loyalty. In case you missed Merry Christmas in the cinemas, because maybe you were too busy watching Animal, my advice is do not miss it when it hits OTT. So this was my review of The Rope. Merry Christmas. Hope you liked it. Merry Christmas to you again.